Hello everybody, this is Brian Yeager, the Superintendent of the Monticello Community School District. And I'm doing this video today for our staff and for our parents because I have a lot of information I'd like to be able to share with you about our current numbers at the Monticello Community School District and some more information that just came out from the state and from Jones County regarding their numbers and regarding guidance from the CDC. So please pay attention, there's a lot of information I'm about ready to give you. First of all, locally, we currently have 27 students and staff members in isolation. Last week we had 14. Now, if you remember, isolation means that either they've tested positive for COVID or they have showed the symptoms of COVID. They'd be considered isolation. Secondly, we have 101 students that are quarantined right now, students and staff quarantined right now. Last week we had 41. And if you remember, quarantine means that they've had an exposure to a student that was COVID positive. Okay? Online learning. This week we have 210 students district-wide participating in online learning. Last week we had 211 students. That number stayed relatively consistent. Even more alarming than some of these numbers, as you can see, our numbers are going up a little bit. We're ticking up. Here's some other numbers for you. I know that when I had a conversation today at 10 o'clock with Jones County Public Health, and what I learned from them is that on Monday, 6 people had tested positive for COVID in Jones County. On Tuesday, 6 more people tested positive for COVID in Jones County. On Wednesday, 16 people tested positive for COVID in Jones County. And on Thursday, 44 people tested positive for COVID in Jones County. Today, by the time of my phone call at 10 o'clock, 30 people had already tested positive for COVID in Jones County. You could imagine with most of the day left, that number is going to continue to climb. Even more alarming than that is that, for our elementary, we have about 20% of our staff that is out for our elementary, either in isolation or in quarantine. Very hard to educate our kids when we have so many staff members out. So these numbers are starting to creep up on us. I think that we all have to be ready to try and, be safe over the weekend. And, the next 5 days are going to be really important for us. We do have a 15.6 positivity rate in Jones County as of today, according to Jones County Public Health. And in our school district, the number of our illness for our students is relatively low. It's 3%. Those are only the students that are in isolation or have been tested positive or are showing symptoms of the COVID illness. So at this point, we need to be ready for these numbers to tick up. And as we've done earlier in the year, there may be a situation that comes up within the next week to 10 days that causes us to be able to switch to online learning for a temporary period of time. These numbers are not high enough to be able to switch for a 2-week period of time, and believe me, that's not my first choice, but if the numbers continue to grow in the wrong direction, we could switch for a temporary period of time to try and create some space between our students and our staff and stop the spread as much as we can within the school. So, one other really important announcement going forward. In order to continue to create the safest environment possible in our school district, as of Monday, we will be requiring preschool through 12th grade, all of our students and our staff members to wear masks, or fresh off the presses from the CDC, gaiters now that are 2-ply can be worn at school, and they are as safe as masks at this point after the research that has just come out within the last, like I said, maybe last hour. So if students are coming to school on Monday and staff, we will be expecting to see everyone wearing a mask or a 2-ply gaiter. And if you are planning on wearing a gaiter, if you're a staff or a student, please bring that to the nurse's office, and I'd like the nurse to be able to approve that, because gaiters come in 1-ply and 2-ply, and I'd like our nurses to be able to let you know if it's going to be an acceptable gaiter in our building. Now, theoretically, when we do that, it should create a safer environment for our students, for our staff, and like I said, that's what we're striving for moving forward. So again, we are at a critical time right now. I really need your cooperation as we continue to move forward. The next 4 or 5 days are going to be very critical. Please keep in mind, I know we're going to have a lot of events and activities for our families this weekend. Please try to put you and your family in the safest environment possible. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email, send me a text, whatever you'd like. I'm always available. Thank you very much, and have a good weekend.